Hey, what's going on, man? It's After Further Review 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. You got the mayor in the house doing it once again, one more again, Tuesday Night Live. You know how we give it up. Action VR Network is the spot. Spreaker.com holding us down and all that. It's a lot to get into tonight, man. A lot to get into. NFL season kicked off. We're already into the college football season. We're going to talk about that coming down the stretch in Major League Baseball. We're going to get into that definitely. Yankees eliminated Boston Red Sox, so you already know, hyped and charged. No more of that Boston Red Sox nonsense. Now you know how it feels to be playing for one game to extend your season. All right? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into some other stuff, man. I'm not really here to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. and his watch, but I am here to talk about the Cleveland Browns, though. We're going to definitely get into that. We're going to get into my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Same Jameis Winston. All right. We're going to get into a whole bunch of stuff, man. We're going to get into last night's game. I think was a classic. The Texans and the New Orleans Saints. I think that was a great game. If you stayed up and watched it. The Raiders got their win last night. Shout out to John Gruden. They really didn't need Antonio Brown. And I'm going to get into that, too, because it's starting to look like that was just a power play. You know what I mean? He kind of used Oakland to give him some leverage and some negotiating situations with the New England Patriots, man. So I'm going to get into that, too. And it looked like they didn't really need Antonio Brown, And we'll talk about that, man. We're going to get into a whole bunch of other stuff, man. 954-246-0398 is the mathematics, man, if you want to chop it up. Bring your A game to the table, man. It don't stop. We here. We in the building. After Further Review 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. We on Spreaker.com, y'all. All right? We're going to jump into college football first, man. Where I want to go with it. I mean, usual suspects, did their thing, you know what I mean? And it's not like anything is really changing at the top. Go to After Further Review tomorrow. We'll have the After Further Review Top 10 plus 2. We'll have that tomorrow on the website, on Facebook or whatever. Check that out. Not really a lot changed, man. I don't understand why they're throwing LSU, moving them so far up in the game now all of a sudden. I don't like LSU over Oklahoma. I really don't like that. We know that Oklahoma is going to give up a lot of points, but we also know that Oklahoma is going to score a lot of points. LSU, I think that they don't deserve, I'll just say it like that. They don't deserve that fourth spot. Clemson's number 1, Alabama's number 2, Georgia's number 3, then LSU is number 4. I don't see it that way. I see Oklahoma, number 4, they got Ohio State. Number 6, Notre Dame is number 7. Auburn is number 8. Florida is number 9. Michigan number 10 after they escaped against Army on Saturday. They escaped. I see that Michigan is setting themselves up for another year of disappointment under Jim Harbaugh, man. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is, man. I'm not liking anything about what Michigan has brought to the table so far. 2 weeks of the season. We'll see what's good with them. Saturday, they got Wisconsin. You know what I mean? Next Saturday, they have Wisconsin coming up. All right? So, on the road at Camp Randall. They play on the 21st on the road at Camp Randall. And I think that's going to be a difficult game for them, And I think they should get back as soon as possible after the way they played against Army on Saturday. Man, Army should have won that game. Army could have won that game, And then where would that have put Michigan? What would you have to say about Michigan if they would have lost that game to Army? But it is what it is. Michigan is in the top 10. I really don't see them in the top 10 at all. Alabama, doing what they do. Clemson doing what they do. They're gonna hold on to their top spots. You know what I mean? For the rest of the season. If I see anybody losing out of those two, it'll be Alabama. I think that what Clemson is doing right now, they're just kind of like putting the icing on the cake. They're kind of like the Golden State Warriors right now. They're going to run through the season. They're going to run through the ACC. All right? And they're going to have their spot. They're going to, no matter what happens to Clemson, they're not going to fall any lower than 4th. So they're going to stay in the college football playoff. Shout out to them for doing what they do, man. And I think that, Dabo Swinney, For all it's worth, I just think that might be, the new Alabama. Alabama's looking up at them, and again, they have the cachet. They can look at Alabama, look down their nose at Alabama, SEC and all of that, but they can still look down their nose at Alabama, say we're better than you. And again, man, I think that Clemson deserved it. They worked their way up. I'm not really one of those that are tired of seeing Alabama and Clemson. I'm not tired of it. If that's where they end up, if you can't beat them, then oh well. That's the way I look at it. If you can't beat Alabama and Clemson, oh well. Then you should not be complaining. You know what I'm saying? When Alabama and Clemson end up in a national championship game or a semifinal, the playoffs, because you have your shot, but you don't show up, and you don't get the job done, Real quick, man, I want to talk about a few teams, man, because I keep up with all of this, man. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to all my people out there, man, on Twitter, man. I rock with y'all heavy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guys over there at No Knockoff Radio. My man, Harlem Fresh 125. My man, Rocker Bash, Robbie Danksworth, Lord AAA. And Lady L, you know what I'm saying? And Shauna Price, man. She holds us down. So rock with us, man. I do that over there, man, every weekend, man. We back on the weekend tip. Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. All right, No Knockoffs Radio. Come check us out on the Zoom app, all right? Yeah, man, back to this college football thing, man. Real quick, I'm going to run through a few teams, man, and give you my thoughts on them so far. The season's still young. We already know what it is, man. It doesn't get important, quote unquote. I'm using air quotes, but you can't see me. I'm using air quotes. That the college football season doesn't really get important until somebody of importance loses or until the college football rankings come out, whichever comes first. All right? Clemson Tigers, man. By the end of the season, I think that this Clemson group is going to be on par and talked about like last year's defense was for Clemson. They can run, they can cover, they can tackle. They don't really have a star per se. Texas A&M, they beat them 24-10, but you never really got a vibe like Texas A&M is going to challenge them. Clemson, you could just mark them down. Mark them down as one of your four teams. If you like them, keep them at number one. If you don't, put them in at number four. But they're going to be there, period. I mean, their road to, a repeat national championship got a whole lot easier. They did what they were supposed to do against Texas A&M. Alabama, they still have a month to go before their first meeting against a ranked team. That'll be Texas A&M. And then after that, it'll probably be LSU. I think that's on November the 9th. The scheduling is what it is with Alabama. They do play the SEC, and they're better than everybody else. So it's regardless of how you schedule them, where you schedule them, and who you schedule them, Alabama's going to, handle their business. All right? LSU, LSU has accomplished a lot. They won on the road against a top 10 team. Their quarterback is doing his thing. Burrows is doing his thing. 45-38 win over against the Texas Longhorns. He showed improved, man. Joe Burrow was doing his thing, man. He was recruited to do his thing at Ohio State. He transferred to LSU. And you watched him last year, and I keep bringing up the game from last year, the opening game against the Miami Hurricanes. They opened up the season last year. You saw what he did. So, give Joe Burrow some respect. Who's putting him on a par with Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa and the kid out in Oregon? Who's putting him on that par? I think he still has some work to do because he's supposed to be there. But I think, if he stays healthy, he's going to put himself in that same conversation. Jalen Hurts. 2 weeks into the season for Oklahoma, Jalen Hurts has more total touchdowns, 9, than incompletions. He only has 7 incompletions. I think that Oklahoma is one of those teams. I like them for the playoffs. I like Oklahoma. I think Jalen Hurts is going to, win the Heisman Trophy. I think he's going to be that much more dominant than these other quarterbacks. We just got to talking about Joe Burrow, You know what I mean? You got a bunch of guys out there that's doing their numbers, you know, and respect to them. You know, and Tua Tagovailoa is doing his thing. But I think deep down inside, Jalen Hurts has got that, you know, he's going to do what he has to do. You know what I mean? And nothing changed with him. Nothing changed. You know, everybody's entitled to have a off week or, you know what I mean, an off game. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what hurt Jalen Hurts. No pun intended. I think that Jalen Hurts was perfect for what Alabama was doing, but Tua Tagovailoa just came in and he impressed so heavy. He was heavy with it. You know, I wouldn't have did it. I would have let Tua Tagovailoa transfer. So what? You know what I mean? So what? I still would have been left with Jalen Hurts. And, I mean, again, you see what Jalen Hurts is doing. So, I mean, how many yards and how many touchdowns is he going to score against a slumping UCLA squad on Saturday at the Rose Bowl? So, you know, that's what it is to Oklahoma and them. Georgia, you know, Jake from State Farm, he only threw 11 times. He completed 10 of them, though. A lot of Georgia Bulldogs touched the football. 11 different Bulldogs caught a pass. They beat the brakes off of Murray State. They have a matchup with Notre Dame coming in a couple of weeks. We'll see what Georgia is made of. We'll see. Because every year, man, they talk about Georgia this, Georgia that. They beat you in the head with Georgia, and they don't show up at the end. Even though they had leads against Alabama twice. Yes, they did. They had leads against Alabama in the fourth quarter twice. So I'm really not interested in what Georgia is talking about. Really, I'm not. Ohio State, you know, Justin Fields did his thing against Cincinnati. Fields has 9 touchdowns, the same as Jalen Hurts. He hasn't thrown an interception yet, and he's top 10 in passer rating. But I think Justin Fields is going to have to show me a little bit more. You know, when they play, you know, by the time they get to that Michigan game, and if he does this thing against Michigan, then we could put him in that conversation. But you can't tell me nothing about Jalen Hurts right now. Nothing. You could throw any quarterback name out there, the Justin Herbert kid out of Oregon, any of those kids. I'm with Jalen Hurts. And just on the strength of the fact that how he handled the situation at Oklahoma. You know, I think I've said it before. You know, he handled it with a lot of class, man. You know, he didn't say anything bad about Alabama. He kept it 1,000, you know what I mean? He just go and do his thing, and that's what he's, you know, continue to do at Oklahoma. You guys, you can't do anything but respect that. Florida, you know, Felipe Franks, you know, doing his thing. You know, I think he got a lot of confidence in that opening game against Miami. They had some injuries. Kadarius Toney and their cornerback, C.J. Henderson, are hurt. So we'll see what's good with Florida. Michigan, back to them. If they would have lost to Army, man, it would have been, you know, another one of the biggest upsets in college football history that involves Michigan at home. You know, again, I just think that, you know, a lot of people are trying to put the cart before the horse when it comes with Jim Harbaugh, on the simple fact that, he might have been, great at Michigan when he was a quarterback, done some things in the NFL, you know what I mean? But this Michigan thing is starting to look like a waste of time. And I hate to say it like that, but it is. You know, and it's starting to look like a waste of time. This is After Further Review, man, 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. You got the mayor in the building, hard body karate, doing what I do, man, on a Tuesday night. You know how I give it up, man. We got Spreaker in the building holding us down. Shout out to them. Shout out to Action VR Network, Rackle Bob, Chuck Skull, all of those guys. Sonny Cruz is supposed to be coming back. I heard that through the grapevine. I don't know how true that is, but I hope the homie gets back so we could chop it up and make it do what it do. This is the top 10 plus 2 as far as college football going into week 3 of the NCAA football season. All right. We got number 1, Clemson. Number 2 is Alabama. Number 3 is Georgia. Number 4, Oklahoma. Number 5, Ohio State. Number 6 is LSU. Number 7 is Florida. Number 8 is Auburn. Number 9 is Utah. Number 10 is Penn State. The plus 2 is Wisconsin and Boise State. All right, so rock with us, man. Every week we got you covered. After Further Review, 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass, college football rankings. Follow along with us, see where we end up with the 4 playoff teams before the season started. The 4 playoff teams that we had was Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Georgia. All right? So rock with us to see how that pans out, man. This is After Further Review 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. We're going to get into the NFL real quick, man. We're going to get, not real quick, but we're going to get into it, man. I just want to transition right into the NFL. I don't want to waste no time. I like what I saw yesterday. We have some breaking news if you haven't heard. The New York Jets have acquired Demaryius Thomas from the New England Patriots. We all knew the fallout behind all of that. You know what I mean? And some more. Look like we have some more breaking news here. Malik Jackson, all right, is going to be out for the season. Defensive tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, so that's going to be a big blow to what they were, wanting to do as far as make that Super Bowl run with the big homie Carson Wentz. And I feel like a lot of people want to say that Carson Wentz isn't going to get the job done. It's on him. I'm not going to, say that, he has a lot of pressure on him. He knows what it is. He knows that he had really nothing to do with that Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Nick Foles was out there. Nick Foles won that Super Bowl for the Eagles straight like that, And I think that Carson Wentz has a lot to prove, so he wants to get them back to another Super Bowl and possibly win. We're going to run through some teams, man, and what they look like after week 1. We might do them all if we have time. And I think we do have time. We're here till 10 o'clock. So we're going to make it happen. We're going to rock out. I got Wacko Bob in the building with me, holding me down. He might want to say something, or he might not want to say something about the Miami Dolphins in this situation. But we'll get into that later on.
Talk about later
there you go right there. There's Wacko Bob. There's Wacko Bob right there. What's on your mind, Playboy?
Yeah, I was saying the Dolphins are definitely something to talk about later on for sure. It's going to be it's definitely going to be something there, to really think about there with the Dolphins. With the Dolphins and with what happened to them and whatnot, and that's going to be it's going to be the key to see what they could do, what they could do to try and make up for this one. Believe me, if they go 0-16, then we're looking at something that was very, very intentional. But we'll talk about that later.
It's starting to look like that, but we'll talk about that later on. Man. And I want to get into the Soul scored the touchdown last night in the game for the Saints. Shout out to for the Houston Texans. Shout out to Kenny Stills. You know what I mean? And his return to New Orleans, because he played for the Saints once upon a time. All right, we're going to get into the NFL right now. Let's start from the bottom, man. Let's start from the bottom and work our way up. All right? Get rid of the rubbish and the garbage and the trash. The Miami Dolphins. That was even worse than what, we expected, man. They gave up 59 points. 59 to Lamar Jackson. Nothing against Lamar Jackson, but they're making him out to be, the next coming of, Randall Cunningham or something like that. And I'm not. Go ahead.
I'm with you on that one. I'm not buying into it. I mean, granted, he went up against a defense that has a great secondary.
Right.
But that's all they have.
And he let that thing go, and he did his thing against that secondary. But I think that it's gonna be brutal for the Miami Dolphins. I'm not going to dwell on it, but the Patriots are coming. You know what I mean? And I think that it's something in me is still have a little belief that the Miami Dolphins are going to play with some heart. You know what I mean? They played the New England Patriots tough. And nobody's respecting them. I think the line for that game is 17. You know what I mean? So nobody's respecting, but I'm not going to stay on that. The New York Giants. It's going to be a long season for the Giants too, man. A lot of stuff has to break their way. I don't think they really have enough talent to compete for a playoff spot. The Cowboys did what they were supposed to do against the Giants, and the Giants, played, as well as they could for as long as they could. But, they got exposed. So that, it's going to be a long season for them. Washington, Case Keenum looked like, Super Bowl man in the first half against the Eagles. But I think that, the injury to Darius Geis is going to kind of hurt them. And they came back to earth, real quick against the Eagles. If they would have beat the Eagles, I think that would have really said a lot about, the momentum as far as the season is concerned. But everything went back to normal. So, and they lost Darius Geis. Shout out to Josh Norman, who really got blistered by Deshaun Jackson on that first touchdown bomb. I saw that. He should be leaving us. He don't have to worry about jumping over bulls and all that. He got to worry about covering people. How about that? I'm not really a big Josh Norman fan. I think Josh Norman is one of those dudes that talks about it and he don't be about it. I don't really like Josh Norman's game. He talks a lot, but he don't really show up. And when he does show up, he acts like that. He's been doing that his whole career. Knock it off. All right. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yep, the Bruce Arians era got off to the same start as the other eras, recent regimes, with Jameis Winston throwing interception. The defense coming up suspect at times. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. You try to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. It's been 5 years, on top of all the other nonsense that he brings to the table. You got to stop playing that hero ball, man. People are trying to respect him, but Jameis Winston is making it real hard.
Just two words. Very hard. I just got 2 words for Jameis Winston. It's over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it, man. It seems like Jameis Winston can't get it right, and that's a shame. Because I was, I'm not gonna, try to act like I wasn't down. I told y'all, I was like, yo, Jameis Winston. We talked about it. Jameis Winston is going to get taken by the Buccaneers. I wanted him so bad on my team, but I don't know, man. I hate to use the B word, but it's been 5 years. All right. Jacksonville Jaguars. Nick Foles is out, broken clavicle. All right. I hope somebody needs to tell me who Gardner Minshew is. He's the new quarterback for Jacksonville. He's a rookie. He did his thing against Kansas City, but it's going to be, they got 15 more games to play, and it's going to be a long season for Jacksonville. They just went down the toilet. The Denver Broncos. Where was that nasty defense last night against the Raiders? And if they continue to play like they did against the Raiders last night, this team is not going to win a lot of games. And Joe Flacco, he had his moments, but I don't know, man. I think, we might see Drew Lock sooner than later. Arizona, Kyler Murray. He struggled for 3 quarters, but he did his thing in the 4th quarter against Detroit. Did Kyler Murray figure it out, or did Cliff Kingsbury figure it out? I just can't see a Matt Patricia team, playing big for 3 quarters and they're coming up small when the game is on the line. He's supposed to be a defensive guru. And, he's not looking like that. They blew a big lead against Arizona. They settled for a tie. So that tells you what you need to know. They didn't lose the game, but they tied. That's almost as worse. Cincinnati, they showed some impressive stuff against Seattle. That defensive front that they have is going to keep them in a lot of games. Cincinnati was one of the big surprises to me. Even competing and being in the game with Seattle, because I was figuring Seattle was going to be, a lot of people's low-key Super Bowl pick now that they acquired Jadeveon Clowney from the Houston Texans. The New York Jets. Sam Darnold needs to be better than what he was against the Bills on Sunday. He's playing a decent defense against the Cleveland Browns on Monday night, so he's got to step his game up. The Indianapolis Colts. The running game was impressive against San Diego. Excuse me, I keep saying San Diego, man. Los Angeles Chargers with Marlon Mack. I mean, if they keep that up, they're going to win some games. The secondary is kind of suspect, but I think the Colts can win some games. I think they can win as many as 9 games. I think they can win 9 games, man. I give the Colts some respect. I put some respect on Jacoby Brissett's name, but I think their secondary has to step it up a little bit. Oakland Raiders, give John Gruden some credit. You know what I mean? Antonio Brown, they don't need him. They never did. He had his team ready to play against the Denver Broncos. Now we're going to see, how that's going to carry over against the Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll see. I give, the Raiders some credit, man. You know what I mean? They did what they had to do, and they really didn't need Antonio Brown. They really didn't need him. They really did. And to me, when you get guys like that make it all about them, it doesn't become about the team anymore. It becomes about them. But I think that Antonio Brown is in a situation now with New England that if he doesn't, toe the line, then, it is what it is. But we're going to see how much New England can tolerate. Because I don't think he's going to be there for the remainder of the season.
Well, I will say this.
Go ahead, Bob.
I know where you're going with this too, and I'll say this: if Bill Belichick and if Bill Belichick and the Patriots can't put him in his place, then good luck in Canada.
Yeah. I mean, I'm of the notion that again, the ball is going to be spread around. Okay, we're going to, and Antonio Brown likes it to be about him. 100 catches, knock it off. That's not going to happen. They got to spread the ball around too much, and they got to run the football too. So, Antonio Brown is going to do his thing, but I don't think he's going to be a happy camper in New England unless he's just going to toe the line and get them to Miami in February. They can win the Super Bowl, and then he'll prove his point. But again, at the end of the day, what kind of cachet does Antonio Brown bring to the table? He has no rings. He acts like like he has 5 rings already. He's hustling backwards. So now he's with a team where he could back into a Super Bowl and back into a Super Bowl, and we'll see what it is. We'll see if he can get there. That wide receiver room is going to be crazy with Antonio Brown and Edelman and Josh Gordon, and that's going to be something to look at. Carolina Panthers, they lost against the Rams. A lot of areas of concern for them. They need to turn it around. They played my Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Thursday night. They played a decent game against the Rams, man. I think the Rams are going to be one of those teams that are going to fall back. But we'll get into that later on. Houston Texans, they competed. Deshaun Watson showed that he's, one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, but their defense let them down. It kind of looked like they missed Jadeveon Clowney, but we won't get into that. But the Houston Texans played a great game. It was one of the more memorable opening Monday night games that I can recall. Down to the wire, literally down to the wire. They left too much time on the clock. A lot of things happened. The referees involved themselves again in New Orleans. You know what I mean? You know how that go. But, Houston will get better. The 49ers, they found their way to win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as everybody does. Richard Sherman runs back a pick 6, first time since 2013. Jimmy Garoppolo needs to be better, but that defense is really good against my Buccaneers. So they started the season out 1-0. Shout out to them. The Cleveland Browns. All right, can we do away with all the hype now? All the hyperbole is over. All the balloons are gone. All the cake is gone. All the people are gone. The hype is gone. The offensive line is a mess. And, I think that if the Cleveland Browns don't, start off, at least with a couple of wins in the first few weeks, it's going to get hectic for them. It's going to get hectic. They play the Jets on Monday night. What if the Cleveland Browns start out 0-2? Then what? All right? This is After Further Review, man, 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. We got the second half of the little NFL Week 1 look coming up. We're going to take a quick pause for the cause. This is After Further Review, man, 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. Spreaker.com is in the building. Let's get it. Yeah. All right. You're still in the building, I guess, man. We didn't take no pause for the cause. Bob, where you at, man? All right, we in the house, man. We doing what we do. All right, let's continue on with this, man. Buffalo Bills, man. They were bounced down 16-3. They came back and pulled out a victory against the Jets. That's a good sign for that young team. I think the Bills are going to be tough every week. Shout out to them, man. I think they're going to be one of the surprise teams that they can, continue to play positive football. Their defense is the beast. So I think that watch out for the Buffalo Bills. The Chicago Bears, if they don't get Mitch Trubisky, see they're calling him Mitch again. He wanted to be called Mitchell. But if they don't get Mitch Trubisky playing at a higher level, they could be in real big trouble. Even their defense won't be able to help them. They gave up 10 points to the Green Bay Packers, and it still wasn't enough to get them a win. You know what I mean? So Mitch Trubisky has to, step his game up. Pittsburgh Steelers. It just seems like they can't beat the Patriots and Tom Brady. They look like they were, didn't even want to be there. You know what I mean? On Sunday night, it looked like they didn't even want to be there. And that's a sad sign for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Atlanta. It wasn't a pretty way to open their season up against Minnesota, and I don't think it was an aberration at all. I just think the Falcons are no good. I never really caught the hype with the Falcons, even when they were in the Super Bowl. I never caught the hype with the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm not a big fan of Matt Ryan, not at all. So again, it's proving me right every week. All right, Tennessee, they dominated Cleveland Browns on the road. A lot of people expected them to be, suspect, but I think that they have a chance, a real good chance to make a playoff run. Their defense was outstanding. They really played big against Cleveland Browns. They had enough motivation, and they made it happen. Seattle, they didn't look good against, Cincinnati, but they found a way to pull it out late, which is what great teams do. Their offensive line has some real big issues that they have to deal with. Pete Carroll has to figure that out. I think Seattle, can still compete. But I don't think that, their offensive line is any good. So they got to step that thing and do something about that. Bob.
You have a caller from the 405.
All right, let's get it. Welcome back to Further Review. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, this is MC Minwalk. I'm calling from OKC.
Peace. Kate, what's the deal?
Yeah, I want to talk about that bum KD and what he said about why he wouldn't play for the Thunder.
All right, we can talk about that. What's your thoughts on that, man?
He's a bum. He came here, he got rich, he got a name for himself, he got a championship out of leaving Oklahoma City, he got MVP award, he got a restaurant, he had the city loving. He's a bum.
All right, so you're going to call him a bum because he left and the way it happened, or you're going to call him a bum because he didn't contribute to you guys going to a finals or playing being considered as a top Western Conference team when he was there.
Well, they went to the finals. He laid down. He laid down against Golden State so he can go to Golden State, just like he laid down against Toronto so he can leave Golden State and go somewhere else. That's just his natural character.
Wow. All right. I mean, that's as a Thunder do, I think that you well within your rights to feel that way. But
well,
I feel
don't support the Thunder. I support the Lakers.
I feel you down there. I feel you. But I mean, like I said, you well within your rights to feel that way. Kevin Durant is gonna do what he does. And I tend to kind of agree with you a little bit because I'm glad he didn't come to the Knicks. I'm glad.
He would have left the Knicks.
I'm happy he didn't come to the Knicks.
He's another
and like I said about Kevin Durant, the Brooklyn Nets just got them a lawn chair for a season. He's not going to be able to. They got them a lawn chair. You know what I mean? But I feel like, for him to say all of that stuff now, he's been gone from Oklahoma City for a few years now. You know what I'm saying? So what does that do? You know what I mean? What does that do about, what can he do about that? He felt one way, and now you guys can say, he wasn't this, he wasn't that, he wasn't the third. So who's the winner in this?
There's no winner. Right,
there you go. Absolutely.
I think him and AB should be brothers.
There's no winner. Now you guys have none of the guys that you started out with. You had Durant, you had James Harden, you had Russell Westbrook. Now you got none of them dudes. So and nothing really to show for it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what to say about that. But we'll talk about that more as we get closer to the basketball season. MC Windwalker, my big brother, my homie, my main macaroni, my nerve, my jelly preserve. What happened to your Pittsburgh Steelers, man?
Oh, here we go. Let me
going.
Let me put this in the words of a great man. What a great man once told me. One game doesn't make the season.
That's true. But I'm going to say this. Y'all look disinterested, man. Why can't y'all beat New England in New England? You look disinterested. Ben Roethlisberger looks like,
That's what we lay down. We lay down every time we go to New England.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I think that, that thing about not having Le'Veon and not having Antonio Brown, until y'all can get that monkey off y'all back, y'all gonna have to show up, man. Don't worry about that stuff. Because you got, I like James Conner's game. And Juju Smith-Schuster, that's the new dude. Yeah. That's your new dude right there.
And Washington.
So, what are you missing?
We're missing that.
Roethlisberger got his rings without Antonio Brown. Mike Tomlin got his rings without Antonio Brown.
Can I say this? Huh? I think we need this is the truth, and I'm going to tell you what we need to do. We need to get rid of Moncrief, first of all, and let's go get Dez Bryant. Since everybody want to talk, let's go get Dez Bryant, get rid of Moncrief. Let's see what happens here.
I'm not against that. I'm not against that at all. I mean, if Dez Bryant can still play, and I think he's still working out, and he's still, he would be a factor, and he would definitely be somebody that could contribute to a Pittsburgh Steelers team. And I think he would kind of up the ante as far as, them, getting back in that championship mode. Not to say that they're out of it, but they just didn't look right last night, man. First game of the season, they didn't look right. It looked like they,
what that is?
With this old stuff, this job.
You know what that is? That's all them young kids. We got a bunch of young dudes. They starstruck. That was their first real game in front of the nation against the Super Bowl champs.
You got a coach that's been there how many years? 13 years Tomlin has been there? How many years Ben Roethlisberger been there? 13 years, something like that. So, you got veteran presence You got kids that you get the kid Devin White is supposed to be. Devin Bush is supposed to be a stud. So you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, I'm not really hearing that. It was their first game and they was nervous. They was shook. Come on now, they knew what it was when the schedule came out. They knew what it was. They knew they was going to New England on Sunday night when the schedule came out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
It's no excuse. They suck.
I wouldn't say all that, but I picked them to win the division. I picked the Steelers to win the division. So I think the Steelers. I still think the Steelers are better than the Browns. I still think the Steelers are better than Cincinnati. And I still think for some reason that the Steelers are better than Baltimore.
That's the truth. And guess what? One game doesn't make a season. We're going to learn from that, and we're going to show America.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely right. One game does not make a season. But it says a whole lot about how you start your season. I'll tell you that much.
True. And you know what? To my brother, R.M. Des, the mayor.
Yeah.
The one I look up to, the one I throw to when I get that pitch and catch. I got one question. When y'all gonna get rid of Jameis Winston?
You know what? Sooner than later. I kind of, and I'll take the slings and arrows for that too, my guy, because I was on Jameis Winston. Wacko Bob will tell you, ever since, when they draft 5 years ago, when they took Jameis Winston, I was like, yo, they're taking Jameis Winston, number one. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are taking, and they were like, whatever, Mariota, this guy, that guy. I'm like, no, Jameis Winston. And I stood up for Jameis Winston through all the seafood escapades, the nonsense at school, all that. I stood up for Jameis Winston, and he hasn't shown me anything.
Yeah, he's good for interception.
He's still yo, how you gonna throw a pick six to Richard Sherman?
To Richard old ass Sherman.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Richard Sherman had 13. Like,
wow.
Come on now. What the? I mean, come on, bro. And then you telling me you beat me in the head about Bruce Arians and he had a relationship with him and all of that. I'm not really interested in that, man. All I want Jameis Winston to do is control the game. Don't give the game away, and that's what he's been doing for 5 years.
Yep.
Throwing the game away, and then trying to rally with 2 minutes left on the clock. Come on, man. So to answer your question, man, if he doesn't do it this year, and to me, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can compete. They can compete for a playoff spot in the NFC.
Yeah. Yep. They would have did good yesterday if they didn't have Jameis Winston. Everybody showed up.
Well, that's what I think. I think they can compete if they show up. But if they don't show up, who knows what's going to happen? I think we could win 10 games. I think we could lose 13. So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So who knows what's going to happen, man? Let's go with them Yankees, yo.
You know what's good with them Yankees? Yes, sir. Yeah. I bet you Boston won't come ask what's good with them Yankees.
No, we ain't got to worry about them this year. We eliminated them from the playoffs last night. We eliminated them.
Baby.
Division. We eliminated them last night, so we ain't got to worry about the Red Sox. But, I still think that Aaron Boone is gonna have some. He's gonna have some tough decisions to make, yo. As far as who's gonna be on the playoff roster, you know what I mean? And what you gonna do with Stan? What you gonna do with Stan?
Yeah, we gotta figure out the pitching. We gotta figure out the pitching and the rotation.
Well, I mean, Packers looked good his last couple of starts. Jay Happ has looked good his last couple of starts. We got Tanaka. Hopefully Severino is down. Severino is down in the minor leagues, making some, doing some minor league stuff. So if he comes back, then that'll be just that our rotation and our starters will be that much stronger. I just think that, yeah, you're right. We do have to figure it out. Aaron Boone has got to figure out You know, who's going to start game one? You know what I mean? Who's going to pitch on the road? You know what I'm saying? So again, and you know what? I don't want to see the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, no.
I not want to see the Minnesota Twins are big. So they got home runs already.
I don't want to see Houston.
I mean, Houston. We know what we're getting with Houston. If we could get past the pitching, if we could get past Verlander, Garrett Cole, and I'm not really worried about if we get by Zach Greinke, we can get by those dudes, we'll be all right. Our pitching
Greinke and Verlander, them is the two.
Yeah, I mean, don't sleep on Garrett Cole either. Don't sleep on Garrett Cole.
Verlander became unconscious.
Yeah,
became unconscious.
Verlander is the truth. Justin Verlander is the truth. Yep, that's right. He is. He's the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not. You know, I'm thinking we could beat Houston, man. I'm thinking that we could beat those. I'm not worried about the Minnesota Twins. The Twins are beasts, yo.
Yeah.
The Twins are beasts.
They got bats that match our bats. That's real.
Yeah. But you know what? We could get. I think we could get to Minnesota's pitching though. Their pitching is, you know, after Barrios, I don't really see what they have a lot as far as the playoffs are concerned. But I just don't want to see them. I'm not really worried about you know, what's going to happen as far as the other teams. I just want to beat Minnesota. If we can get past Minnesota, whether we play them in the division series or whether we play them in the ALCS, we just got to get past them. I'm not worried about Houston. I know what I'm getting with Houston. I know what I'm getting. I'm going to get a whole bunch of Altuve, some George Springer, some Bregman. You know what I mean? I'm going to get a whole bunch of that. You know, with some Verlander tossed in. But again, man, I like what the Yankees are doing, man. We just got to play our best baseball in October, man. It's about October now.
Yeah,
it's about October. No,
even though we got the best record, that all starts at zero.
Yeah. Yep.
It all starts at zero.
That's right. That's right. And if we could, you know, just capitalize and finish the season out strong, man, we're gonna be going to another parade, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? We got the horses to do it. Let's get it done. Let's finish the job, yo. Word up. So what's going on? What's going on in your world, man? What's the word on Jalen Hurts down in Oklahoma?
Hey, man, that's why I was just going to bring that up. Can we say Heisman number 3?
Yep.
Hey,
you still can.
And you know what else I can say? If this happens, we're going to say bye to Mr. L. He's leaving. He's going to the pros. The pros, somebody going to snatch him up.
Well, I think that, you know, that's the means to an end. You know what I mean? I think that Lincoln Riley is you know, he's on the scope now. They're watching him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but you know what though, Win? At the end of the day, when you you know, we know the pattern, and we know what happens when these guys transfer. You know, from the college to the NFL, we know what happens. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really, you know, if Lincoln Riley gets that chance, more power to him. Just hope that he gets a chance to, you know, prove himself. Because you know what happens, man. After 2 or 3 years, they done with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's happened to the best of them. So I hope that Lincoln Riley can, you know, get a national championship.
Yeah.
I see, and I'm gonna say this to you right now. I see Oklahoma and Alabama playing for the national championship. That would be the ultimate right there.
Yeah.
Hurts against Tagovailoa. Playing for the national championship. Lincoln Riley and Nick Saban, the young gunner against the old horse. You know what I mean? I think would be. Then
you would have his former quarterback against his former team.
Yep, against the guy. Yes, that's right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. But then you know what though? I kind of forgot about, you know, Clemson. a lot of people, Clemson's road to the championship has got real easy. And they knocked off Texas A&M, you know what I mean? And their schedule is not really that hard. They're going to win the ACC. You know what I mean? They're going to be in the playoffs. So it's just that, now it's just about basically who they're going to see in the playoffs. That's it,
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's basically it, man. Everything is, everything is everything. Anything else you want to touch on and discuss before we get out of here?
Okay. Let's touch on Serena.
Yeah, I wish. Go ahead.
I think
you didn't hear that. You didn't hear that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did. Well, you know what? I think Serena, she needs to slow her game down. Once she starts getting, she's steady in hyper mode. That's why she wasn't hitting that ball right. I watched the match. She could have came back and won that. She's got to get her thoughts together.
I think Serena is worrying too much about that record. Because this has been a couple of times now when she had a chance to tie that record. And, you know what I mean? That last one is one, you know what I mean? So I think that you're right, where she could have played better tennis. You know what I'm saying? And if you could see it and I could see it, then she could see it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that she's focused on that number, that 24. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, she could kind of just, fall back from that a little bit, focus on the task at hand, is winning the match, and going about your business and making it happen, making it do what it do. I think that she still has it in her, no doubt. But I think she just kind of focused on trying to get it done. She's focused on trying to get it done instead of getting it done.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, and I think she need to, mentor Coco a little bit. That would be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, whatever she
put
does,
it together.
I mean, and she got to worry about those young ones coming up, man. You know what I mean? The Naomi Osakas of the world, the Coco Gauffs of the world. You know what I mean? The Taylor Stevensons of the world, Taylor Townsends of the world. You know what I mean? So those young girls are coming up. They're coming up in the game. You know what I'm saying? So again, you'd rather see Serena go out early than go out late. You know what I mean? But that tennis game is a game. If you want to hang around, you can hang around for as long as you want to. You can hang around for as long as you want to. You know what I'm saying? But those young girls ain't no joke, and they're putting pressure on Serena. So I think that she's really got to step her game up now, and get that 24, get that 25, and maybe call it a day. That's it.
Yeah, you got enough money.
Let the youngsters take over.
That's the truth.
Word. Yeah.
Question. Oakland plays Kansas City.
Right.
What's your over and under?
Oakland and Kansas City. Over under 50. 50. I think that that Kansas City Chiefs offense is unstoppable, right? Mahomes is gonna do his thing. They're not gonna have Tyreek Hill. That's gonna hurt though. But I think they have enough that they can still rock the Raiders to sleep. Because looking at who the Raiders played last night, and the Denver Broncos and Joe Flacco, you know what you're gonna get out of those guys. You got exactly what you expected out of them. But I think the Chiefs are gonna, go in. That game against Jacksonville was kind of maybe a little bit closer than they might have wanted for them, for their liking. And they're gonna go with it. They're tied for the division lead with the Raiders. So this is gonna be the Chiefs and the Raiders at its apex. So I think Patrick Mahomes is gonna be ready, and I think the over under for that game will be 50.
Okay.
Chiefs a hush majority.
Okay, question 2.
Yeah.
Dallas plays Washington.
Right.
I think Dallas is overrated. I don't think they're going to play the same way all year long.
Okay.
They did good by getting some new players, getting Randall Cobb in there, and you know, and a couple things. But I think Dallas is really overrated. And
Okay.
Zeke gonna sit down. He got $50 million guaranteed. He ain't gonna hurt himself.
Well, you know, that's what you got to that's what you got to hope for. But finish your thought.
So I think Dak gonna come back to being Dak. Start throwing some interceptions. He can't throw the long ball. It's gonna be some short routes. And I think Washington's ready because your man, he got a chip on his shoulder because he didn't get drafted where he wanted to be drafted. And I think he got a chip all year long. Everybody better watch out for Washington and Haskins. Straight up.
Man, stop smoking that weed, folks. Listen, I think the Cowboys. You think the Cowboys gave it to the Giants? The Cowboys going to really give it to Washington. I think the only way that Washington could stay in this game is because I think the game is in D.C. So I think that Washington playing at home, that might give them a little impetus. But Dwayne Haskins, I don't know, man. You know, Case Keenum didn't look all that bad in the first half against the Eagles.
Case Keenum?
He didn't look that bad against the Eagles in the first half. But the second half was a different story. But you know, he had his moments. They're not going to have Darius Geis. So that defense is going to be looking out for the pass instead of the run. What are the Redskins going to do with Adrian Peterson? Are they going to let him play now that Darius Geis is hurt?
I don't even know. I thought it was some trade.
He was up to scratch.
Yeah, I'm saying
on his career.
Yeah.
So that's what that is, man. We in the building hard body making it do what it do. I got my man Win walking in the house with me. OKC stand up. Back to Kevin Durant.
I'm on his radio.
What do you think the breaking point was in his relationship with Batman? What do you think? You killed with the feedback. What do you think the breaking point was in the relationship with Kevin Durant and the front office there in Oklahoma City?
When they wouldn't do nothing with Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant wanted to be his team, and he wanted them to do something with Russell Westbrook.
Okay. All right. Yo, what you got? Headphones or something?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, man, I think that, Durant, because again, what happened?
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. So, with Durant, man, I just think that they had to do something, to benefit the squad. I mean, they had Durant, Harden, and Westbrook. Like, damn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like
3 MVPs. Yep, you're right.
Yeah. So I mean, and you went to the finals one time. You had Serge Ibaka. You know what I mean? You had a nice little squad right there. You know what I mean? But you couldn't get it done against Miami or whatever. But I don't know, man. I just think that they make it more out of it than it really is. They should just leave that alone. It's a dead issue. It's been a couple of years now that Kevin Durant hasn't been in Oklahoma City. Leave it alone, man. Why are you bringing that back up?
Right.
So,
Right.
And the fact that he's not even going to be playing next year. That that's going to be another year you removed from Oklahoma City. So everybody's going to talk about what he said about Oklahoma City. I don't get it.
You know what a funny thing is to me? Jeremy Lin got a ring before the Thunder did with all that talent.
Jeremy Lin got a ring on the strip for Kawhi Leonard. We know that.
I know, but I'm saying he got a ring before the Thunder organization with all the
That's
talent
right.
that they had.
You got a ring before Carmelo Anthony too.
Yeah.
You got a ring before James Harden. All of them dudes. You got a ring before all of them. You know what I'm saying? But
Well, Westbrook.
I mean, huh?
Before Westbrook.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I just think that the basketball season, which is going to start. Training camps is going to open up in a couple of weeks or whatever. And as you get closer to the season, it's going to get really, really crazy. People are going to be jumping out the window early. All kinds of fans are going to be coming out the woodworks early, and that's going to be the part. That's going to be the killer part. Because we could talk about it right now, but until the season gets ready to start. But man, the Western Conference is going to be crazy.
That's right. We need a couple more pieces for the Lakers, though.
The Western Conference is going to be so bananas, my dude. Like, and I don't want to forget about Golden State. I don't want to write them off, but I don't want to write off Denver. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to write off the Clippers. Can we write off the Lakers? You know what I mean? Can we write off the watch out for the Yo, your phone is crazy right now. Your phone sounds crazy right now.
Hold on 1 second. You better watch out for the Utah Jazz.
Yeah. I mean, Utah too. You know what I'm saying? So the West is going to be really bananas, man. And I mean, I'm not, calling so much about the East because you already know what it is in the East. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear nothing from Sixers. I don't want to hear nothing from Sixers fans. Joel Embiid was crying. I don't want to hear nothing. Joel Embiid was crying, son. I don't want to hear none of that.
Yeah, he was crying like a big old baby.
All I gotta say, when you start talking that nonsense about Joel Embiid, why was he crying?
Why was he crying?
He was crying, crying like a girl. He was crying.
You're right.
He should have been out there about stopping Kawhi Leonard and not trying to be funny at press conferences.
Right,
you know what
right.
And that's what Joel Embiid get. That's what he get. You know what I mean? But again, at the end of the day, man, it's gonna be all about Giannis. You know what I mean? Can he step up? Can the Milwaukee Bucks step up now that Kawhi Leonard is out of the East? You know what I mean? Who's gonna take over the East now? Who wants it?
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
The East is whack.
The East is. I mean, who wants it? You got Toronto. You got Atlanta. I'm gonna give some props. I'm gonna give the Pacers some props. Right.
Right.
What about Boston? They're gonna have Kemba Walker with those kids, with Jaylen Brown and Tatum and all that. Is Kemba Walker gonna take them to higher heights than Kyrie Irving? Then what about Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets? What they gonna do? So
they're gonna wait on KD.
Yep, that's exactly what they're gonna do. Exactly, bang bang. They're gonna wait on Kevin Durant. That's exactly what they're gonna do. They're gonna wait on KD. See, I was like, when Kyrie went and Kevin Durant went to Brooklyn, they were so hyped and charged. They was jumping out the window. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do the third. Then they came back to reality because Kevin Durant's not gonna be playing. So now they like, oh man, you know what I mean? Oh, we're gonna be better. You was a good team without Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. You was a good team without them. You had D'Angelo Russell, Karis LeVert. You know what I mean? And you had some pieces. So now you're going to be expected to do some things instead of just things on the rise and on the come up. Just because you got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant sitting in the lawn chair.
In New York.
So now you got to get to play with.
Well, I feel
built an excuse for a year.
Yeah, I feel the same way. That it's an excuse for a year.
Yep, you got a built-in excuse for a year.
Correct.
If you don't do what you're supposed to do. Now, when you make the playoffs, I think Brooklyn Nets could be one of the top 8 teams in the East. Yeah, I think the Brooklyn Nets could be one of the top 8 teams in the East. Now, are they going to do that? Then could they win 40, 45 games? I don't know. But what is it going? How many games is it going to take to get the 8th spot in the East?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that you got to look at it from that perspective. So I look at it. I say, well, Brooklyn, you got Milwaukee, Toronto, Atlanta, Indiana. Who else you got?
Man,
Detroit. Yeah, Detroit, because they got Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin. Detroit. I'm not gonna put Charlotte in there. Who else can we put in the East? Can't put Washington because I don't trust them. You know what I mean? I think Rui Hachimura is gonna be the truth. Rui Hachimura is gonna be the truth. Yep. I don't know, man. The East is kind of bananas right now. Atlanta, Orlando Magic, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So, but the West is going to be so bananas. You know? What do you think of Howard? Now you got AD, now you LeBron. What do you think the Lakers are going to do?
Well, you know what? In the East, we're going to be good. We're going to be good with the East. The West is going to take over that. So we ain't worried about that. The West is where you got to worry.
Why your phone sound crazy, man?
Man, I'm going in and out. Let me hit you back, bro.
All right. Yeah, that was Windwalker, man, in the building, man. You got the phone situation they got to deal with. But this is After Further Review 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. We are in the building live and direct. Wacko Bob is in the house. Windwalker came through. We was talking about the NFL. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff. Mentioned some teams that I didn't really get to mention before Windwalker called. The Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, one game. Look who they played. And I'm not taking nothing against them, but I do need to see a bigger sample size as far as Lamar Jackson is concerned. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, 4 touchdowns against the Giants. That pushed him towards that big contract that he wants. Again, the Cowboys are going to do what they do. They were impressive. They did what they were supposed to do against a team that they should have beat. Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings defense, the truth. Dalvin Cook. Man, listen. You better pay attention to what's going on in Minnesota. Dalvin Cook. He's back. So, again, defenses in the NFC, watch out for the Minnesota Vikings because I think that, they can make some things. They can make things happen and do some work. Bob, what's good, man?
Here, one moment. I want to get into this one here. Oh, damn. Okay, I'm unmuted now. I'm just to really jump in on this one. I agree with you with Minnesota. I think this Vikings team could really be something here. The only thing I'm going to question is can Kirk Cousins be consistent? Can Kirk Cousins do it? Can he play his game and be consistent?
You know what, Wacko Bob? I think that, you're right, your point. I think your point. I think that he just has to be consistent in what he does. Because Dalvin Cook is going to take a lot of pressure off of him. Dalvin Cook is the truth. They got them a running back in Minnesota. So that takes the pressure off of what Kirk Cousins has to do. And he's got some special receivers on the outside, Thielen and Stephon Diggs. So I think that he's got the weapons. Like you said, he has to get them the ball. You know what I mean? And again, we expect this. He doesn't have to do much. He doesn't have to do as much as he did without Dalvin Cook. Now he's got a running back there. So they might, and their defense is good. So the Vikings might be one of those teams to watch. The Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles look good in the second half. They started out like garbage. They was down 17-0, but I think Carson Wentz, did what he needed to do. He linked up with Deshaun Jackson, twice. So I think that that Eagles team, they got it. They got it. You know what I mean? But
they're going to sharpen up as the season goes. They're going to sharpen up as the season goes. I think they are. I just want to see that Carson Wentz that played his ass off his rookie year before he got injured. If that Carson Wentz comes back, this Eagles team is going to be a team to contend with. That's a fact.
That's right. Absolutely. The New Orleans Saints, they need to really tighten up that D if they're going to go to the Super Bowl. They played a great game last night. That was a great game against the Houston Texans last night on Monday Night Football. But facing the Rams on the road on a short week, it's not going to be easy. You know what I mean? So they got to definitely step it up. Los Angeles Chargers, they don't need Melvin Gordon. Austin Eckler was dope. He had a great game against the Colts and did his thing. Their defense also needs to, kind of tighten up the screws a little bit, and they'll be all right. The Los Angeles Rams, they beat a good Carolina team. Ty Gurley did his thing in the second half of the game, so that was big. Hopefully the Rams can, make some things happen and do what they need to do. We talked about Kansas City. Green Bay, that defense looked really, really good against the Chicago Bears. The offense only scored, 10 points, but hopefully it won't stay that way. And the New England Patriots, man, this team just keeps playing at a Super Bowl level. Now they have Antonio Brown. I say, so what? Everybody else says, watch out. This is After Further Review 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. We're going to take a pause for the cause. Hey, Bob, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, man, we got the 3-minute rant. We got some other stuff going on. WNBA playoffs coming up. We're going to talk about that. This is After Further Review 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. We're going to take a break. Bob, let's get it.
Canadian Aquatic Auctions, the place to be if you are into anything aquatic. Nelson Fletcher, owner and operator, has years of experience and wants to help you better achieve your aquatic needs and goals. So if you're an aquatic hobbyist and enthusiast, please visit Canadian Aquatic Auctions today. Their public auctions provide a venue to remarket all aquatic-related products, services, and equipment. If you are just starting out in the hobby, the site has a tack room where you can converse with other aquatic hobbyists like yourself. Canadian Aquatic Auctions is the eBay of everything aquatic. So visit Nelson at his site at www.aquariumauctions.ca or go check out his Facebook page as well at www.facebook.com/Canadian Aquatic Sales. Together we can build lasting relationships that are based on listening and servicing your needs in a professional environment. Canadian Aquatic Auctions.
My name's James. For 6 years, I was a garbage can druggie. I would do any kind of drug I would get my hands on. But here at Teen Challenge, I've walked away from that drug lifestyle for good.
If you know an adult or teenager who is struggling with a chemical addiction, Teen Challenge is there to help. Please, don't wait. Call us today at 417-862-6969 or reach us on the web at teenchallengeusa.com.
Skis Watch and Clock, 106 West Central Avenue, Winter Haven, Florida, 33880. Located downtown across from the main post office. When you're short on time, he's right on time. For all of your watch, clock, sales, and service needs, call Skis, 863-294-5630. Sales, service, free estimates, and reasonable rate. That's 863-294-5630 for Skis Watch and Clock.
This is our time. We play without limits. We create without rules. We are not for sale. We connect with the whole world. idea we've shaped, every relationship we've cultivated belongs to us. We demand the freedom to be our uncensored selves. And when something challenges that, we change it. Together. This is our time.
One, two, three.
Let's start a revolution. Let's MeWe. Join the revolution at MeWe.com.
Do you want to capture the best memories you can? Is wanting to preserve those memories your goal? Do you want your memories to last a lifetime? Do you want your memories to look beautiful in pictures? Well, if you live in Southern Oregon or Northern California, there's one place that you can save those treasures for a lifetime. Grateful Heart Photography. Abigail Summers is your solution for capturing your favorite moments and memories like birthdays, graduations, weddings, family portraits, single shots, and more. She can also capture the finest scenery shots around and make them available all across the country and around the world at a price that can suit your budget. So if you're looking for the right photographer that can preserve your legacy, look no further than Abigail Summers at Grateful Heart Photography. Call Abby at 541-890-4657 or message her at her Facebook page by searching Grateful Heart Photography. Much of her work is displayed there. Feel grateful for the memories captured by Grateful Heart Photography.
If you're looking for action-packed classic fun, look no further.
Carter, there's a machine gun. Look out, Daddy!
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
For the best in old-time radio adventures, you've come to the right place. This is one nostalgic weekend.
Saturdays and Sundays, midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on Action VR Network.
Hey, so what's going on? We back in the building, man. This is After Further Review 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. We are in the building one more again, Tuesday night, doing it to you like we do. We talked, shout out to my man Win Walker calling in on the check-in from Oklahoma City, chopping it up about Kevin Durant and a whole bunch of other stuff. We're back in the building, man, doing what we do. WNBA playoffs are in full swing and all of that good stuff right there. You got to look at this whole WNBA season as a experience, man. The Washington Mystics, you know, they started out as a team to beat. They ended up now as the number one seed. Elena Deladon, shout out to her. 50% from the field, 40% from three. I think 90% from the line. One of the first women in WNBA history to do that. Shout out to her. You know what I mean? And they're going to get a bye as the number one seed in the playoffs, man. And we're going to look at the WNBA real quick, team by team, that are in the playoffs, and we'll talk about that a little bit. The Washington Mystics, they finished at 26-8. They're the number one seed in the WNBA playoffs in 2019. They established themselves as pretty much the best team in the league, man. They dominated in the second half. They only lost 2 games since the middle of July. They finished on a 17-2 run to lock down the best record in the league and home court throughout the playoffs. They have the MVP, and I'm calling it right now. They have the MVP of the league, and Elena Deladon. You know, I always rock with Elena Deladon, man. So don't get it twisted. I'm not new to Elena Deladon and what she's been doing. Shout out to her. They're definitely the team to beat. They have a historic offense. They have a lot of depth, and they have experience. So they're definitely the team to beat. All right. The number 2 seed, the Connecticut Sun. All right. You know, it's like the Sun are like the Yankees. You don't have to watch your team in a single elimination game this year. All right. So Sun fans should rejoice about that. Connecticut's going to the semis. They knocked out the number 2 seed, which is going to give them a huge boost of confidence in their quest to their first WNBA title. They've been one of the most consistent teams all season long. 23-11 was their record. And they're one of the 2 teams in the league that beat the Mystics more than one time. So they still have a lot to prove, and they got to prove that they can win and get it done in the playoff situation. Number 3, we got the Los Angeles Sparks. They finished the season at 22-12. They started the season kind of, and discombobulated. They had injuries to deal with. They had overseas absences, and they had some suspensions to work with. As far as trying to fit in a new coach and new players. But right now they seem that they figured it out and they're healthy. All right. It started out at 6-6. So you do the math to figure out how they finished the season. You know what I mean? 16-6 for those who are slow. They have the second best net rating in the league, and they have a lot of talent, and they have much championship experience as any team in the league. So the Los Angeles Sparks are in the building. That's number 3 seed. The number 4 seed is the team that we picked to win it all before the season started, the Las Vegas Aces. They finished 21-13. They stumbled toward the finish line during the regular season. They lost 4 out of their last 6 games, which doesn't really, inspire confidence in that playoff run. They have a very strong defense and one of the best players in the league, and my favorite player in the WNBA list, Cambridge. But also they have to rely on a lot of young players that don't have that playoff experience. All right, they seem like they struggle at times. But they keep this. This team is looking good. They also faltered down the stretch. Their offense is crazy, and it'll be interesting to see if they can play at that breakneck pace in the postseason. If their offense is clicking, they have the talent to make a run. But I think it's hard to see them winning it all when their defense is really struggling as much as it does. So they finished at 20-14 as the number 5 seed. The number 6 seed, the Seattle Storm. All right, they made the playoffs, even though that Breanna Stewart and Sue Bird have been sidelined for the entire season. That was a big accomplishment. They finished at 18-16. They battled all season long. They were really stingy on the defensive end. In the playoffs, that defense is going to make them a hard out for whoever they play. They just don't really have that top talent or enough consistent scoring to go on any long, sustained run. All right? Number 7 seed, Minnesota. A lot of changes in the offseason for them, so they really didn't have that many expectations for them. That included Maya Moore sitting out. Lindsay Whalen retired, if you remember. But I think that Cheryl Reed put in one of her finest coaching efforts. She rebuilt that roster with some, slick moves and got Minnesota to another winning season. They finished at 18-16. They have an elite defense, but it's going to be hard for them also to go on a deep run with their offense being as inconsistent as it is. All right. The number 8 seed, the Phoenix Mercury. They finished at 15-19. All right. Diana Taurasi is out. The Mercury were one of the most disappointing teams this season, any season. Any team that, has a team like the Phoenix Mercury should be really always in the top, 3 or 4 in the WNBA. This team was expected to be a title contender. They just snuck into the playoffs as the final seed and now have to go through 2 single elimination rounds. I mean, are they a serious threat? Nah, probably not, because they don't want it. They don't want it. So if they don't want it, man, it is what it is. But I think if any team could, turn it on, it's the Phoenix Mercury. All right? That's the WNBA report right there. WNBA playoffs, beginning tomorrow. All right? We got Minnesota against Seattle, and we got Phoenix against Chicago. All right? So that's the WNBA playoffs, man. All right? This is After Further Review 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. We're going to get into some baseball right now as we make the final stretch run to the playoffs and all that. I get kind of worrisome now at this point in the season now. This is the point of the season where, all that, happened during the regular season. It has to be, shown and proven. You know, and what I mean by that is that, you know, the Yankees are going to win over 100 games. The Yankees are going to win the American League East. But what does that mean? It's World Series a bust for the Yankees. So now they have to worry about, you know, playing against a team like Minnesota, a team like the Houston Astros, you know, and at least we get 5 games to worry about that. You know, I think, you know, the season that the Yankees have had, you know, is a great season. Aaron Boone got a lot out of people that weren't expected to really contribute like they have, but I'll take it. And now we have that, you know, that to rely on once the playoffs start, even without Giancarlo Stanton. You know, and I don't even want to discuss him. He hasn't been around. You know, yeah, we know he's been hurt. We know that. But it seems like he stays hurt. Shit, Aaron Judge was hurt the last 2 seasons, last 3 seasons, and came back and contributed. I think Aaron Judge, and you know, has to continue to have a hot bat. I think he come back just in time. He has to continue to have a hot bat. The Yankees, you know, like Win Walker said earlier, we have to have some pitching. James Paxton has looked good his last, you know, couple of starts. Jay Happ has looked good his last couple of starts. So we're going to definitely need that. That's what we're going to definitely need to improve and move into, you know, the American League Championship Series, or, you know, get to the World Series and win. As far as the National League is concerned, man, you know, to me, I feel like the Cardinals and the Cubs could make the Central interesting over the last, you know, couple of weeks of the season. I picked the Cardinals to be a wild card team. I didn't pick them to win the division. I picked the Milwaukee Brewers. But again, man, I think the Cubs have a 1.5 lead over the Diamondbacks, with the Phillies and the Brewers being 2 games behind. I think that, you know, whatever the wild card ends up being, it's going to be very exciting. I just think the Cardinals are going to, you know, win the National League. I picked them before the season started. They have a 4.5 game lead in the National League Central, and that's going to be tough to get past in just 3 weeks' time. But, you know, 7 of the last 10 games happen to be the Cardinals against the Cubs. So, again, it's going to be up to the Cubs if they want to, you know, make some things happen. You know, they're going to have the chance right in their lap, you know. Then there's the Milwaukee Brewers. They're 6.5 games back. They do have 3 games coming up in St. Louis. If they can somehow, you know, get that lead to 3.5, you know, I think that will really, you know, benefit them with those Cubs and Cardinals head-to-head games, you know, because the rest of the Milwaukee Brewers schedule doesn't have any teams with a 500 or better record. Okay, the Brewers play, besides those games with the St. Louis Cardinals, the Brewers play the Miami Marlins, San Diego Padres, Pittsburgh Pirates, Cincinnati Reds, and Colorado Rockies the rest of the way. You beat up on those teams, okay, and you hope for the Cubs and the Cardinals to do something like, you know, the Cubs winning 4 out of 7, and then, you know, the Brewers can make some things happen for the second straight year. But, you know, stranger things have happened, but we have to worry about my Yankees, man. I just think that they're gonna, you know, do what they need to do. Where are the odds that they set a home run record without Giancarlo Stanton? All right. Edward Encarnacion has 11 home runs with the Yankees. They have 13 players that have double digits home runs. Giancarlo Stanton is not on that list. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I think that, you know, you got to do some thinking about life without Giancarlo Stanton. We already know what it is. We know what life is like without Giancarlo Stanton. So I'm not really beat about him not being here. Period. We good with what we got. So I just think maybe it's turning into an experiment that didn't work out, you know. But if he's going to show up, he's got to show up and contribute now. I don't need him to go, you know, his first 25 at bat, striking out 20 times. I don't need that. You know what I mean? But I feel like the Dodgers, in their situation is kind of similar to the Yankees. The reality of it is that this season, if they don't win the World Series, this season is a failure. But I mean, before this current streak with the Dodgers, with all those World Series and all that, history behind them, they never made the postseason more than twice in a row. This year, making 7 times in a row that they made it to the postseason. So again, shout out to them. I don't know, man. I just think that this is crazy as far as the Dodgers are concerned, and still can't get over that last hump. That's crazy. The Atlanta Braves, they're within striking distance of the best record in the National League. Not mad at them. They just got to, get hot and stay hot and get hot going into October. I like the Atlanta Braves. Minnesota, that's a team that I really don't want to see in the playoffs. They put themselves in a position that even if they get swept by Cleveland in the upcoming series, that's not going to mean anything because they play Kansas City, Chicago White Sox, and Detroit Tigers the rest of the way. So even if they get swept by Cleveland, they got some games. The Twins are going to win 100 games this year. All right. Tampa Bay. I mean, Tyler Glasnow's back pitching. He's got good stuff. He could make for a nice, companion to Charlie Morton in the wild card game if they get there. Tampa Bay has had a very decent season this year, even though with all the stuff that they, went through and had to go through and all of that. But I just think that, they deserve, a better fate than playing in the American League East, having to deal with my New York Yankees. St. Louis Cardinals. Jack Flaherty is pitching himself into Cy Young contention. I don't think he'd win it right now, but he still has time. And that St. Louis Cardinals team, man, I like them. They're sneaky good. All right, watch out for them. The Oakland A's. They have the longest winning streak in baseball this season at 11. All right? And I think that Oakland is one of those teams that you need to watch out for. I think that this season, it's not like last season's success with them. You know what I mean? They maybe took a little step back this year. Their pitching is not what it was. You know what I mean? They still have young horses. I like the Oakland A's. But they'll get it together, man. They just have a team in Houston that's going to be in their way for years to come. The Washington Nationals. The Nationals had a chance to win the National League East. They trailed Atlanta by 6.5 games. And they had 7 of 10 games coming in head-to-head against Atlanta. The Braves took 3 out of 4 of those games and just basically kind of put the title away and kind of like let the Washington Nationals know what it is. And, again, the Nationals had a great season. And if they get into the wild card situation, they're going to be a dangerous out. The Boston Red Sox. Woo! Dave Dombrowski is gone. They got a big decision to make in the offseason. Now that, Dombrowski's out of there. Do they trade Mookie Betts? They don't have anything in the farm system. He's only under control for 1 more year. So what do they do? Do they trade Mookie Betts right now and get something back for him? Get a few pieces back from Mookie Betts? Because again, you have Jackie Bradley Jr., you have Benintendi, you got Xander Bogaerts, you got what's the kid's name? The third baseman. What his name is escaping me right now, but it'll come back to me. You got those guys in the Red Sox, man. So again, you get something back from Mookie Betts. It is what it is. And I think with Dave Dombrowski gone, I think that makes trading Mookie Betts. The chances and the odds of that have went up. And whatever the Red Sox do, man, they deserve whatever they get. They deserve whatever they get. And feel like a team like the Chicago Cubs, they kind of fell off. They were talking about getting rid of Joe Madden earlier in the season. But, Javi Baez being out for the year and, Chris Bryant dealing with a knee injury, I never thought that the Cubs were going to win the division, but I thought that they would be a playoff team. And now I don't know. I don't know about that now. I don't know about them being a playoff team right now because a lot of their heart is gone. Nick Castellanos is doing his thing. He came and really did some things with the bat, some nice things. He really hit. He hit. You know what I mean? And I think that that was a good sign for the Chicago Cubs. But injuries got them. You know what I mean? And they're dealing with injuries, man, and it's not a good look for them right now, man. And hopefully that next season they can get it together. Arizona Diamondbacks, they were trying to contend last year, and they finished with 82 wins. Going through a rebuild, looks like they're going to win more games than 82. So you give them some credit. The Arizona Diamondbacks doing their thing. Even if they get a chance to get into the postseason, get into the playoffs, that'll be a great thing for them because they were a team that was on a rebuild mission. The Philadelphia Phillies. I said it before the season started. I didn't expect to see them in the playoffs, and it doesn't look like we're going to see the Philadelphia Phillies in the playoffs. If we do, oh well. They lost the series to Cincinnati. I think that was a death blow for them. And the rest of the schedule for the Phillies is brutal. They got Atlanta Braves, they got Boston Red Sox, they got the Nationals, and they got Cleveland. So the rest of the schedule for the Phillies is brutal. Rafael Devers is the Red Sox third baseman. That's his name. It escaped me for the moment, but now I'm back on point. New York Mets. I don't know, man. Remember that they were talking about the Mets and in regards to the wild card and doing some things, man. And I just had hope for the Mets. They were playing strong, but right now looking at them and their situation right now with the New York Mets, it's just kind of crazy. 3 games over 500, 16 games out. Then I don't think that the wild card is going to be in their future. You know what I mean? Even though they had a nice little run, they had a decent little run. I give it to the Mets. They tried. Robinson Cano and all that. They're going to have the Rookie of the Year at least. Pete Alonso is going to be the Rookie of the Year, no question. But now we're going to see about the heart in the Mets. They're 4 games out of the wild card, and they're going to need some help. They're going to definitely need some help. But again, they got to do their job. As simple as that. They have to do their job. All right? This is After Further Review, man, 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. We are in the building doing what we do on a Tuesday night. Let's get into the 3-minute rant. Right now, the 3-minute rant, I want to talk about Antonio Brown and his shenanigans. Okay? Antonio Brown, the story about him and the Pittsburgh Steelers, so we know that. I just think that he kind of used the Oakland Raiders, as a foil to what he really wanted to do, and that was to, be in a situation where it was a no doubter in regards to, postseason, Super Bowl, and all of that. Antonio Brown is about Antonio Brown, and as simple as that. I think that, the Raiders, are set a 3rd and a 5th round pick to the Steelers. Only days after he made those comments about, not really sure about when he wanted to, to play football or not. He had 3 years and $39 million remaining on the contract that he signed, an extension that he signed with the Steelers back in 2017. All right? He wanted more. So the Raiders knew that trading for him and restructuring his contract was going to add more money to it. All right. And he got that. He got that. Then all of a sudden, the old helmet situation. Then he clashed with the coaches. Then he gets into a situation with Mike Mayock. Then he gets into a situation where he says that he's sorry, he apologized. Then, the suspension thing. Then the Raiders said they want to keep the $30 million in guaranteed money. Then he said he doesn't want to play for the Raiders, asked the Raiders to cut him. Then the Raiders cut him. Then the same day, just after 5 o'clock, a couple of hours after he was released by the Raiders, he signed a deal with the New England Patriots. I don't think that transactions work that fast in the NFL, especially those type of transactions. So you have to look at it, behind the scenes for what it's worth. If you do the math. So a lot of things look, suspect. We got to, ask some questions about that. But again, it's going to be about Antonio Brown, and how he gets along and how he meshes in New England. And I personally don't think he's going to be there for the entire season. That's just me. And we'll leave it at that. That's the 3-minute rant. After further review, man, 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. We are in the building Tuesday night, locking it down on Spreaker. You know what I mean? You can get at me, man, on Twitter. I'm at RMDeath on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. After further review is the name of the group. I do my thing, man. I rock out here on Tuesday nights with my man Wacko Bob, Action VR Network. Spreaker.com is the situation right now. All right. You can get at me Thursdays. I'm on Chris Metal Radio. All right. That's syndicated out of Miami, Florida. Shout out to Chris Metal. Saturdays, I got the Sports Spitter Show, DJ Scratch. Shout out to DJ Scratch. He's on tour right now with DJ Jazzy Jeff, the Vinyl Destination Tour. Shout out to them. Catch them when they're in the city near you. All right. And I write for Validated Magazine, man. That's a magazine owned by Eric Sermon of EPMD. And I write for thescorepro.com. All right. So check me out, man. I'm all over the place, man. I'm on Twitter. I get it in over there. So holler at me. Follow me. All right. I do my thing. I definitely interact with people. You rock with me, I rock with you. That's how we give it up. And that's basically it, man. You know what I mean? We done put in another one. Shout out to my man Win Walker. Shout out to everybody who's checking out the show. And we're going to make it do what it do, man. All right? Tomorrow's a big day. You already know what it is. September 11th. It'll be 18 years. So shout out to everybody, man. It's going to be a tough day tomorrow, man. People going to be going through it. So support them the best way you know how, because it affected a lot of people. And still, the effects still reverberate to today. You know what I mean? So, again, tomorrow, man, just, take it all in stride. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all that's going to be talked about. You know what I mean? So if you was there, you remember. All right, just, say, set one up for the people that, didn't make it. You know what I mean? And the people that, are still living, you know what I mean, that dealt with that situation down there, at Ground Zero, the World Trade Center. So yeah, man, that's how we gonna give it up tonight, man. This is After Further Review 2.0, aka the Sideline Pass. I hope you enjoyed the show, man. I enjoyed rocking with you, man. I enjoy talking my stuff, man. I would be remiss if I didn't run past these NFL scores for you. Let me get up my game real quick. Probably got a few minutes left. I'm gonna run past these baseball scores real quick, and then we're gonna do the NFL scores. All right? I got a few more minutes, so we're gonna ride out. Ride with me. Rock with me. I'm the mayor. God bless America. All right? We're in the building. All right. Wild game going on at Comerica Park. Yankees and the Tigers tied at 11. The bottom of the eighth. Bottom of the eighth in Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies lead the Braves 6-5. All right. Final score: Dodgers 7, Orioles 3. Bottom of the seventh in Toronto. The Blue Jays lead the Red Sox 4-3. Bottom of the eighth at Citi Field, the Mets lead the Diamondbacks 3-2. All right. Bottom of the eighth in Miami, the Marlins and the Brewers tied at 3. Bottom of the eighth in Minnesota, the Twins lead the Nationals 4-0. Bottom of the sixth in Texas, Rangers over the Rays 3-1. Top of the sixth in Chicago, the White Sox lead the Royals 5-3. Top of the fifth in Houston, the A's are all over the Astros 17-2. All right. Top of the fifth in Colorado, the Rockies lead the Cardinals 2-1. Bottom of the first in San Francisco, Pirates, Giants don't score. Indians and the Angels are going to start in a few minutes. The Cubs and the Padres start out in San Diego in a few minutes. All right, so that's the baseball scores you caught up. Now let's get these NFL scores out for the people, because that's how we give it up for the people. This is after further review, man. 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. Watch me work. Check this out here. All right, NFL scores in the building. We're going to start out like this. All right, the Packers and the Bears played Thursday night. Green Bay over Chicago, 10-3. All right, that was Thursday night. Sunday night, you had the Patriots over the Steelers, 33-3. Wow. All right. Sunday's games, you had the Cardinals and the Lions finishing in a tie. Wow. 27. Cowboys over the Giants, 35-17. Niners over the Bucks, 31-17. Chargers over the Colts, 30-24. Seahawks over the Bengals, 21-20. Ravens over the Dolphins, 59-10. Chiefs over the Jaguars, 40-26. Titans over the Browns, 43-13. Eagles over the Redskins, 32-27. Vikings over the Falcons, 28-12. Rams over the Panthers, 30-27. Bills over the Jets, 17-16. And last night, the New Orleans Saints, in an incredible game, beat the Houston Texans 30-28. And the Oakland Raiders defeated the Denver Broncos 24-16. All right, this is after further review, man. 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. We got to get up out of here. All right, another Tuesday night down. Shout out to Wacko Bob. Shout out to Chuck Skull, Sonny Cruz in the building. Everybody else that rocks out with us, man. We are on Spreaker.com. You can check out the show, man, live and direct. All right, we got flavors for you. Get at me on Twitter and all that good stuff, man. I'm out of here. I'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.